I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the people who served on the committees for the Earl Yogi Strom weekend retirement party. I would also especially like to pay tribute to Dr. Ray Fike and to Bill Loa, who served as co-chairpersons for this wonderful event. I also would like to thank my wife, Yvonne, for doing the logistical work and pulling all the strings together to make this the most memorable weekend of my life. I would like to thank also American Airlines for their contributions, Joe Doyle, to Pottstown Television, PCTV, and to Mark Pollock for all his help with the video and the press conference that was held. I would like to thank Compassionate Friends for allowing us to make them part of this weekend and to be able to make a sizable contribution to their wonderful benefit. Also, Pottstown High School and Owen J. Roberts for allowing us to contribute to the scholarship funds that we plan to make available for worthy high school students. We would also like to take this opportunity, or I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the wonderful Hall of Fame people who came to be there to honor me and to take part as celebrity guests and to make us feel very proud that they were able to see Pottstown at its finest. To all the people who attended and those of you who will be watching this film, I want to thank you for making this weekend the most memorable of my life. Thank you very much.
Watch your hands, watch your hands. First one I missed in 30 years. Second, he stole the tap. Hey, let us call him. You're getting the fouls. He's still bitching. Can you believe it? Huh? Can you believe it? Get back and shut up! Get back! Just get back!
One of the co-chairmen of the Toast to Yogi Strom is here with me right now, Dr. Ray Fike of the Pottstown School District. And Doctor, perhaps you could share with us some of the preparation that went involved in putting this whole weekend together.
Okay, well, we actually started in November of '89 and formed a committee of about 22 executive members. And since then, we've been meeting monthly, and then the last 2 months, every other week. And we've really done a lot of planning, a lot of volunteers, and a great deal of work on many people's part.
Now, obviously, there was a lot of headaches that went along with it as well. It wasn't an easy thing getting all these people and all these celebrities together. You contacted a lot of the teams in the league and all that. How did that go? How did they respond?
Well, I contacted 27 teams, and then as they were eliminated from the playoffs, I contacted them because we couldn't do it during the season. There was a concern about Yogi still being a referee and then they're still being in the playoffs. And very well received. They knew him. They didn't know him as Yogi. They knew him as Earl Strom, and they wanted to be part of it. And for the most, they were able to send some representatives and make a donation to the Compassionate Friends and letters of congratulations.
Some of the other people that you worked with, is there anybody you like to thank for all the long hours that they helped you with?
Well, of course, my co-chairman, Bill Loa. He's been a real strength in this whole organization. He did a lot of the contacts as far as the platinum tables, and I worked a lot with NBA, and then just the other host of executive directors. And of course, you've been great with getting the news out to the public. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, the other co-chairman of this extravaganza is with me right now, Bill Lowe. And Bill, perhaps you could share with us some of the long hours that you put in over the past almost a year in the planning, and it's all culminates tonight. How do you feel?
Well, I feel really good. I when they all touched down here and they're at the hotel, I knew it was going to be a great success. So I'm very happy.
Tell us about some of the planning and the preparation that went into putting this together.
Well, I have to say that really up until March, it really wasn't too bad. Then it went in stages. The last 3 weeks to a month have been quite hectic, and the last 2 weeks, I mean, and some days were 18, 20-hour days because we were dealing with a lot of people on the West Coast, and with the time change, they were still working, and so we had to be.
For the most part, in dealing with the teams, dealing with the various celebrities that are here, have they been have they responded well?
Absolutely. I was surprised and not surprised. I mean, Earl's such a great guy, but the response we have, I tried to get here a little early tonight, and I'm standing here, there's no one else here, and Julius Erving, his wife Turquoise, and Billy Cunningham walked in, and we were the only ones in the ballrooms other than the waiters and waitresses. It was neat.
Tell me, have you sold any insurance in the past 6 months?
No, unfortunately, I have some great partners who took up the slack in that, and so that was nice on their part.
How about the response from all the volunteers on the executive committee and the subcommittees and all that? They put in a lot of hard work too.
It's a large group of people that put this together. Certainly not myself or Dr. Fike alone, and that's where we were so fortunate. We got so many good key people as committee chairman, and they ran their committees, and it was just a matter of overseeing things and putting it all together. So.
I know the one thing that's concerned you, as well as a lot of other committee members, is the fact that there were a lot of people in the area that would have liked to attend it, but they couldn't because, let's face it, Sunnybrook can only hold so much, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Now, today we added 2 more tables because we had such an extensive waiting list. And in less than a minute, I filled those tables, the waiting list we had, and we have over 1,200 people. I think to put it in perspective, when I talked to the fellow from Sports Illustrated today, and I told him there was 1,200 people here, he said that's more than they get for most large events. So we're lucky to have it here in Pottstown.
I'm here right now with the honorary chairpersons of this gala, Turquoise and Julius Erving. And Turquoise, I'll start with you. Over the years, Yogi has probably made a couple of good calls and a couple of bad calls, against your husband here. But what does it mean to you and your husband to be the honorary chairpersons of this event?
Well, I was sort of flattered when we were asked. So I think to be here because of Earl, who's been around for so long, has given so much to the game, and certainly has called a lot of bad shots on Julius, but it's a privilege just to be here tonight.
Yeah, but Julius, there was a couple 3-point plays in there too over the years, wasn't there?
Earned. We go back a long way. We go back to our ABA experience with Earl, and of course the 11 years in the NBA. And I think if you talk about having a respect for a very, very hard job, you look at Earl as an example of a man who is very easy to respect. He's out there. He was out there night in and night out. He was doing a good job under very, very difficult circumstances, and is truly worthy of being honored in this way. So when Turquoise and I were asked to be the honorary chair people, and it's right in our backyard, Pottstown, it's not that far from Philadelphia, we said, hey, let's go, let's do it. We were a part of his life for a long time. He was a part of our life, and we hope to be able to continue the relationship now that he's out of basketball.
I think people might find it interesting. How does a good and friendly relationship develop between a referee and a player over the years?
Well, I think you have to understand that, players roll is to try and beat their opponent and try to be at your best and try to approach the game from a fair perspective. And if you're treated fairly, then you're able to let your talent show and you're able to do your thing, and lots of times you'll be successful if you're well prepared. And Earl, when you got Earl on the road, you were going to get a fair shake. He wasn't going to be a homer. And when you got him at home, he wasn't going to be a homer. He was going to give the other guys, a chance to play their game. The calls were not going to be one-sided. What goes for one team goes for the other team. And so you respect that. You respect the consistency. And for 37 years, he was very, very consistent.
Is that what made him special? As I know you've, you know a lot of referees and a lot of ex-referees. Is that what made Earl so special?
Well, I think his style, his unique style, just the way he tossed the ball back to you, the way he would kibitz with you, the fact that off the court, you can go out and play golf and enjoy banquet activities and charitable activities away from the hustle and bustle of the job itself. So I think that's where you really ensure the additional respect, and that's where the relationship stems from.
Let's hear it!
You've been there before. Almost as if you knew what you were doing.
How smooth was that, Cousy?
Almost as if you knew what you were doing out there.
That wasn't a double hit either. Good touch, Bob. Nice shot, Bob.
You.
Hit it.
Oh, God, I can't get a break out here.
Too bad.
Did you shake that pin?
Too bad. That was a great shot.
Got it.
Sandy.
Oh! That's a Sandy.
Oh, what a three.
Nice one, Yogi.
That's a Sandy, so that gives us 4 points.
What a... Oh!
Now, how could that get behind the hole without going in?
Very carefully.
You got to put the eyes on it.
Let's hear it all at once. Oh.
You got him putting the eyes on it. A three, Earl. What a great three.
Dolph can't forget that.
I'm impressed, Doug. I've never seen you do that before. Have you ever done that before?
Oh, yeah. I always come out of traps like that.
Okay, Greg Catagnis has been in charge of taking care of a lot of the celebrities and all that have come to town, and he's arranged a very nice outing for them on Saturday morning out at Brookside. And it's more than just getting a bunch of starting times together, isn't it, Greg?
No, it's been quite a chore. The last 3 or 4 months we've been putting this together with the help of Pete Deaver and his son Matt here at Brookside, and it really has. It's been worth all the work. We've got a lot of caddies here. We've got escorts with every group. We've got great celebrities, and a beautiful day at that, Mark. And it's just been a super day so far, and it's all paid off, all the hard work.
Johnson, Blaine's the co-author of my book, Sunny Hill.
I just gave you a plug out there while we were waiting.
Went up to Zern's flea market today. Look at her found.
Oh my God!
Here's Earl Strom.
Look at this! You know how old that magazine? How old that magazine?
You got that where?
19.
It's Zern's.
Flea market.
It's Zern's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you'll find Dolph Schayes.
Oh.
Hey! How are you?
Not a lot when you're older.
Never a big score. Not only are you not a doctor, you are not a lot of young.
But I don't know of an occasion in sport where an event like this.
To the best of my recollection, I don't think Earl ever threw me out of a game. He's given me technicals.
We heard a rumor that for every technical Earl gave you, said that caused you to lose his hair. Is that true?
No, he didn't give me that many technicals. But Earl never threw me out of a game. Sometimes his partner did, but I don't ever recall Earl throwing me out of a game. And actually, you wouldn't find a lot of ejections by Earl Strom. Earl, in 32 years, give us a guess. How many guys did you eject from a game?
32 years, maybe 10.
Yeah. So maybe 10 in 32 years. See, a good referee doesn't rely on that. And good referees don't eject people. They'll give you a technical, and the coaches will usually know that they've been given their warning and they have a line to observe. I've had Earl say to me, when I've had one, you want to stay in the game, don't you? I said, yeah. Well, then sit down or get back there where you belong or something like that. And I would do it, wouldn't I, Earl? Most of the time, yeah.
I remember one time in Madison Square Garden, there was a lot of controversial calls near the end of the first half between the Knicks and Cincinnati. Big game. And in the runway between halves, I was waiting at the locker room to talk to Earl, and Ned Irish, who was the owner of the Knicks, owner of the Garden, came in and said, Earl, that was what you did was terrible, blah, blah. And Earl stopped him in his tracks, said, Mr. Irish, you want to get kicked out of your own building, you better keep quiet. And that's the kind of a guy Earl was. He was respected by everybody, and one of the more wonderful guys that you'll ever want to meet. And you people in Pottstown should be very proud of him. Thank you.
When I got here this weekend, I found out what you folks here in Pottstown call him. His nickname here is Yogi. I got to thank God I never knew that nickname when I was coaching, because I would have gone broke, because I would go, yo ho ho Yogi. But honestly, I'm very pleased to be here and participate in this, because Earl has always had a great sense of humor, something that a lot of the other officials don't have. And he's the type of guy that if he blew a call, he would say he blew a call, and what could anybody say? He'd say, I missed it. And that'd be the end of that. So he was honest, he was just, and we all appreciated his good humor. And if there was something funny on the court that happened, he'd laugh just like the rest of us. So we knew he was one of the guys, and he's always been treated as one of the guys. And over the years, I've been in many capacities in pro basketball, and I've very rarely seen a guy who accommodates himself and is as nice and as pleasant as Earl has been, regardless of what my job was in the game. So I'm very pleased to be here. I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. And tonight, if you happen to be at this dinner, we all get a chance to speak about him. Don't believe half the stuff you hear.
And Dolph Schayes was right when he mentioned the fact that Earl really knew the rules better than any other official. And that's because he made them up. No, seriously, it's really a pleasure to be here and be a part of all this. You people in Pottstown can certainly be very proud of Earl. He sets a standard by which we coaches judge officiating.
And as Tommy said, anytime that I was in a big game, whether it was on the road or at home, I was always very comfortable knowing that Earl had the game because he was not going to be intimidated by the crowd, by me, by the other coach, or whatever. He was going to call the game as it happened. And that's something that all of us in coaching appreciate and want. We want that consistency night in and night out. And the NBA is a lot better because of Earl Strom. And as I said, he set the standard by which we judge officiating. So for me, it's really a thrill to be here. I can remember as a rookie watching him when I first came in the league, and I'm happy to say that I've survived long enough to see him retire. So it's a real delight to be here today.
I think also one reason I'm here today is really that this is the guy that, which I think the league wants to do more of. This is the guy who wants to put more back in than what he took out. And that's the reason that this weekend is such a special weekend with the different organizations that will benefit by it. And I appreciate his involvement in his community, and that's to be applauded. And so I say, Earl, God bless you. Thanks for inviting me.
But I go back to his ABA days. A lot of you guys don't know about Earl switching from the NBA to the ABA. And a friend of mine by the name of Charlie Scott was telling me about Earl before I had ever met him. And they were telling me about how he had this bad temper. I know his kids know about his temper, but a lot of y'all don't know about it. And we were in Seattle playing in the game, and there was this fan back there heckling Earl and kept getting on him. And finally, done at halftime, they came out, and Earl was standing at the scorer's desk waiting to get ready to officiate the game, and it was real quiet, and you could hear a pin drop. And the guy stood up and yelled down to Earl, said, "Earl, I'm coming down to get you." So Earl looked up in the stands at him and said, "Don't come down, I'll come up there to get you." That's the kind of guy he was. Thank you, Earl.
And over the years that I've been involved in the game, and it goes back to the very early 50s, I've heard no one ever make a derogatory remark about Earl as a human being. And even from an officiating point of view, the thing has always been, he's been fair. And I think that's a characteristic of him and the way that he's conducted his life. Just being here in Pottstown, I live in Philadelphia, so Pottstown is 50 minutes a drive for me. I live in Southwest Philly. It took me 50 minutes to get here today. And just being here with the people tells me a lot about what you're about and tells me a great deal about what Earl's about. And to me, the judgment of a person is not a judgment based on some kind of situation where the spotlight may be bright on you. In this case, in the officiating situation, the spotlight was very bright, particularly in the last 10 years or so because of the growth of the NBA and the popularity of it. But more important, the character of the human being. I think the human being is what it's really all about. I think all of us up here, we can talk about at one time the spotlight has been very bright. Some of us, we still have the bright spotlight on us. But that's really not what it's all about. And when you can have as many people as Earl has here this weekend to come and be a part of what it is that the city of Pottstown and what he's all about and paying tribute to him speaks more about him as a human being than about an official. There are a lot of officials, there are a lot of great basketball players, but there's people here that know like I know. We wouldn't go around the corner for them because in reality, they didn't put anything back in, so certainly they shouldn't get anything out. A good friend of mine is Coach John Chaney, who Earl is very close with also. We have a comment that we make at our basketball camp. If you don't put something in the bank, you can't get anything out. Earl Strom's put a lot into it, and that's why he can get a lot out. And the other thing in closing is, Earl is the kind of individual that can mesh with anybody. When Earl comes into Philadelphia and he's refereeing the games in the Baker League, and as I said, over 30 years he's been with us, the people just buzz when he comes in the building because he's that kind of person. He embraces people, he makes them feel good, and to me, that's, again, what it's all about. Earl, it's just a pleasure, not because you're a great referee, but more important because you're a great human being.
Geez, what a wonderful weekend this has started to be, and what a wonderful night the rest of it's going to be. And we're all here, and I can't thank these wonderful people for being here and all the accolades they're passing out now. I wonder where all those accolades were for the past 32 years when they questioned my ancestry and things like that. But, Tommy Heinsohn, one night he had a game, or I had a game that he was playing in, and it was in Hartford, Connecticut, and they were getting beat pretty badly, and I guess I might have had a bad night. And after the game, after they got beat, we were walking across the floor, and he very casually walked up to me as we were walking into the same dressing room area, and he said, Earl, my friend, now don't let your ego get the best of you, and if this is going to upset you, what I have to say, I won't say it. I said, no, go right ahead, Thomas. And I called him Thomas in those days, only when I was angry at him. And he said, Earl, this was not one of your better nights. Now, don't get upset about it. I said, no, Tom, I'm not upset about it, but do I get equal time? He said, of course. I said, Thomas, you stunk the joint out tonight as a coach. And he said, see, I told you were going to get angry. And he started screaming at me all the way off the floor. Remember that, Tom? Bobby Jones, who can say anything bad about Bobby Jones? He could get knocked to the floor and he'd get up and give me a smile and say, well, I guess it could have been an offensive foul, right, Earl? That's the kind of guy Bobby Jones was. Bobby Shantz was my golf partner today. Only plays with irons. Pulled us out of the hole today, didn't he, Dolph? Made 4 pars in a row. And Cousy can't afford the bus fare because we took all that money from him. And Bobby said, when's he going to pay us? I said, don't hold your breath. We haven't received it yet, Dolph. I just wanted you to know you owe us $1,000. But everybody's here for a very, very important reason, and that's to support the Compassionate Friends. And when my wife came to me several months ago, she said, I want to have a retirement party for you. And she said, what do you think? And I said, well, if we have a retirement party, let's do it for a benefit. And I was approached by several different groups like the March of Dimes, Leukemia Fund, the Heart Association. But one association that we went to was the Compassionate Friends. And for many of you who don't know what the Compassionate Friends is, it's a support group for bereaved parents who have lost children through death. And we have a very close tie, as you will see in the program tonight, with the family of Janice and Harry Hess. Janice and Harry Hess have a son, Gregory, who is married to my daughter, Susan. And they lost 2 girls, 16 and 18, one through cancer, one through an automobile accident. They needed the support to get through this tough ordeal. And the support that they chose was the Compassionate Friends, which was in another county. And they went to that county, and they became so actively involved that they started their own chapter in Pottstown, and that's what we are here for tonight, and for this great weekend that these guys were so graciously here to help us raise money for the Compassionate Friends. We did such a good job that we had a few dollars left over. We started a scholarship fund for the 2 local high schools in Pottstown. One Pottstown High, from which my wife and I were graduated, and the other from scholarship fund would be for Owen J. Roberts, where all my children were graduated. And we hope that we're able to, at the end of this evening, with the auction and with the raffle tickets, and with you people's support, that we'll be able to support all these funds. In the future, I expect to sustain these funds by holding celebrity golf tournaments. And hopefully we can get these guys back each summer, and we can give them maps so they can get to Pottstown on time. I don't know where the rest of them are. Mark, I'm sorry. Oh, here they are. They're coming in now. But anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and I'm looking forward to this evening. Even if the roast is going to become if the toast is going to become a roast, I'm ready for it, and I'm going to enjoy it. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. No questions? Well, thank you very much for being here, folks, and let's have a good time tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. It's showtime. Our first guest this evening is Wayne Embry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Irvin Magic Johnson. Larry Bird. Bob Cousy. Isaiah Thomas's mother, Mary Thomas. Fresh in from Philadelphia, Rick Mahorn. And from the world champions, Chuck Daly.
Oscar Robertson. Dr. Jack Ramsey. Hal Greer. Sonny Hill. Bob Shantz. Bobby Shantz is in the audience. Will you please stand? Oh, here he is. I'm sorry. Bobby Shantz. Dolph Schayes. Coach Red Auerbach. Tom Heinsohn.
Bobby Jones. Lenny Wilkens. Del Harris. Billy Cunningham. And Connie Hawkins. And just off the airplane, Bill Russell. That's it. At this time, I would like to introduce our honorary chairpersons. Turquoise, Julius Dr. J. Erving.
Well, I'm Julius, and this is Turquoise. We'd just like to take a couple of moments to welcome you here this evening to a toast to Earl Yogi Strom. I'm not going to say a lot. A lot of people know me from over the years, and I've been a long-winded person. As a matter of fact, I had the honor and privilege of speaking in this hall a year and a half ago, and many of you were here. But for us to be honorary chairpersons for Earl's event has made us flattered and honored. And without further ado, let us introduce the honored guests this evening, Earl and Yvonne Strom. Come on over here, Ted.
I'd like to call on Mr. Harry Hess, please, to give the invocation.
I would like at this time that we take a moment of silence and each in our own particular religious persuasion ask for friendship, understanding, and peace around the world. Our world at this moment is very volatile. And please, a couple moments of silence, and each one ask for friendship, understanding, and peace. Amen. And now as we continue with the invocation, we would ask that we look to the Creator, that He allows people like Yogi Strom to be a friend to all of us. We look in the world and we see the mistrust and the anger, and we come to a celebration such as this, and we see what miracles can happen. It is in the mind and the eyes of one person for another person that all of you people are here tonight. And we thank God that He permitted you to come and arrive safely. So we want to thank the Creator of the Strom family and the extended family sitting in front of you. For without them, we would not be here tonight in this gala celebration. So thank you, God, for all of your blessings. Amen. I have another important message to give to you, and this is an item that I could talk about for hours, and that is the subject of compassionate friends. There are cards on the table for any of you who wish to pursue the subject further. My wife and I are at your service after the meeting if you wish to talk. I would also like to introduce to you the National Director of Compassionate Friends, Therese Goodrich, over here on my right. She came to us from our national headquarters in Oak Brook, Illinois. Last month at the Adams Mark in Philadelphia, we had a national conference for Compassionate Friends. All the people there had children die. People do not like to hear the subject death. And that's why Compassionate Friends is so grateful to the Strom family. They've done in about 6 months what we haven't been able to do in years. And that is to have people talk about Compassionate Friends to Compassionate Friends about children dying. And all the last 2 or 3 days, people come up to me and talk about Compassionate Friends, and it's beautiful. And Yogi, thank you. And Yvonne, thank you. You've created a miracle for Compassionate Friends. Compassionate Friends is a very simple type organization. We have no dues, no membership list. When you need help, you seek out help from one of us. We sit and we talk about your feelings, my feelings. When you're in the same boat with someone, it's easy to converse with them. That's what Compassionate Friends is. We have no lengthy, long list of bylaws, rules, and regulations. We share experiences, and through talk about the children that you have belong to you that have died, you get support, and in turn, you get a feeling of being different, never better, just different. It's been over 13 years since our 2 children died, and we don't mind you talking about them. We want you to talk about them. We don't want you to forget. When your mother dies, you remember her. When our children die, we remember them. That is Compassionate Friends. And thank all of you who are here tonight that you can carry the message back about Compassionate Friends, because there are many people in the world who are hurting, and Compassionate Friends wants to help. Thank you.
And now here tonight with us to celebrate 40 years of all sports, from ESPN, Roy Firestone.
Good evening. Watch the monitor. Watch your monitors in the back and in the front. We are going to celebrate the last 40 years of sports in the life and times of Earl Strom. Let's go. Gene Friedel, Cleveland Brown, Sugar Ray, Churchill Downs, Jackie Robbins, Slammy Sam, and Joe DiMaggio. Whiz Kids, Hogan Seal, Stan the Man, and Waterfield, Indies Flag, Hot Tax Sag, Lawson's Perfect Throw. Nashua and Forest Lawn, Marciano, Splendid Tid, Auerbach, they called him Red. Whitey Ford and Raymond Berry, Dodgers rookie, Larry Sherry, Willie Pep, sudden death, I can hardly catch my breath. Sports really lights the fire, and it's always changing, and it's rearranging. Sports fans never tire, and you can't deny it, and you ought to try it. Willie Mays, Woody Hayes, Notre Dame, seen better days. Robin Roberts, Robert Villa, MVP is Campanella. Lou Jack, Eddie Shack, Senators, they're 20 back. Bill Veck, Ramblin' Wreck, Willie Shoe and Bayonet. Mazeroski, Johnny U, Ernie Banks. Let's play 2. Sonny Liston, Dave Bings, Andy Kidd, the strikeout king. Rocket Rod and AJ Foyt, knuckleballers, name is Hoyt. Green Bay Packers, boycott backers, Cassius Clay is going crackers. Sports really lights the fire, and it's always changing, and it's rearranging. Sports fans never tire, and you can't deny it, and you gotta try it. Wilter, Stilton, Russell, rookie Charlie Hustle, Jimmy Brown gaining ground, Bob Gibson's on the mound, Gale Sayers, Hallis Bears, Olympic figure skating pairs, amazing Mets, Broadway Jets, the Knicks are cutting down the nets. Yes! Red Machine, Mean Joe Green, Christy Everett, Billie Jean, Andretti, Richard Petty, Pele's always playing heady, Hammer and Hank, Brooks and Frank, UCLA's top rank, Nadia is something new, Billy Martin's Bronx Zoo. Sports really lights the fire, and it's always changing, and it's rearranging. Sports fans never tire, and you can't deny it, and you gotta try it. Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, USA wins on the ice, Larry Lou, Iron Mike, baseball like a football strike, Al Campanis, Lenny Bias, Michael Jordan flying highest, Bobby's chair, Golden Bear, Bo can play most anywhere. Sports really lights the fire, and it's always changing while it's rearranging. Sports fans never tire, and you can't deny it, and you got to try it. Good evening! We did it! 40 years. How are we doing tonight, all right? Sit back and relax, folks. We think we've got a terrific show ahead for you. We want you to keep it, kind of keep it down if you can, because we think we've got some interesting moments ahead. First of all, 40 years in sports. One time for one more. Earl Strom put 40 years of his life in sports. Right there, 32 in professional basketball. The man of the hour. I must tell you, this is going to be a special notification to Earl. I have a telegram that was addressed at 5 o'clock this afternoon. This is very special if we can get it quiet. This is to Earl Strom, care of the Earl Strom Retirement Dinner, Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Dear Earl, listen to this. Barbara and I wish to extend our finest wishes to you, a man who has committed himself to his sport, to his family, and to his life. Earl, you and I go back many years. I have known you as a man of integrity and honor. Sincerely, best wishes, Sid and Barbara Schwartz. Very nice. Very, very nice. They were here tonight. Here's another telegram, ladies and gentlemen. Dear Earl, you have always maintained yourself as a family man, a man of commitment, a man who understands what commitment is. Your word is your bond. I have tried to live my life that way. I hope I am half the man you are. Sincerely, Steve Garvey and family. That's Steve Garvey and family. That's Steve, that's Barbara, that's Michael, that's Edward, that's Jonathan, that's Karen, that's Billy, Phil. Let me see, we got some more here. Leonard, Richard, Kwamsak is another one. Jean-Claude. It goes on. There's an Earl Strom Jr. in here. That goes about several pages long, but I think you get. How about a nice hand again? Steve Garvey and family said his best. I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute thrill to be part of this man's career in a very small way. We have a show on ESPN called Sports Look. How many people have seen our show? We've been the beneficiary of some wonderful people. I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to embarrass him here tonight. My very favorite athlete in the world is here. The most special person in all of sports, Earvin Magic Johnson. And I say that from here. We did quite an interview earlier today. I want to tell you, Earvin is the most giving athlete I think I've ever been around. He helps raise millions of dollars to the United Negro College Fund every year. Very active in the Los Angeles community. When he first came to me, though, Earvin was 19 years old. Came to me. I'm basically the same age. He was a young guy out of Michigan State. A little naive, though, I have to tell you. I said, Earvin, how do you explain the chemistry for the Lakers? You bring the ball up court, flip it behind your back, no look pass, whip around, over to James Worthy, no look pass, flip it to Michael Cooper, no look pass, never looking at each other, over to Kareem, flip it behind your back, slam dunk. How do you do it? It's like you had a sixth sense. Earvin said, it's true. We have what you call ESPN. Old joke. Marty, do we have that rundown, my book? It's not up here. Because I have a special treatment that I want to give. You know who's here tonight, ladies and gentlemen? We have celebrities in this book that you will not believe that are here tonight. Would you believe, for example, well, I must tell you this, that we are going to bring on this stage tonight because there are many, many, many stars out here. Here we go. Thank you. Marty Steele at the keyboards up here. We have a gentleman named, well, if I just mention the name Howard Cosell, I think the audience is split. Because half of you hate him like poison. Let's face it. And the other half of you just hate him. Now, I think this. Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali are here tonight to offer a very special treatment to Earl Strom. They're going to do it in rap. Yes, they are going to rap their way. Earl Strom, here they are to tell their life story. Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali.
Hello, everybody. I'm Howard Cosell. Without further ado, there's the opening bell. We're here today to view and observe a three-time ref with a hell of a nerve. He fought all comers with speed and savvy, though in later years, he got quite flabby.
Now, Howard Cosell, I hear what you say. You're full of hot air. You got a bad toupee. I fought with style. I fought with class. You don't believe me? You're a pain in my...
Some questions then, champ, if I may persist, to the greatest who ever balled up his fist. You're funny, Ali. I think you're a riot. I also think you belong on a diet.
Howard, it's true you can't mess with fate. The toughest opponent for me was my weight. But I could lose pounds, be quick as a cat. You'll always be ugly, even if I'm not fat. Your ears are too big, you grant me that. I think it's time to start wearing a hat.
All right, then, Ali, you win that debate. As a top-ranked boxer, you were always first rate. But when it comes to money, I'm sure you'll confess the winner and champ is the IRS. They can beat you in ways that phrase you couldn't. Bring it to your knees, even if they shouldn't. Lewis, Liston, even Sugar Ray took it on the chin. Uncle Sam had his way.
Howard, you're absolutely right. Back taxes kept me up late at night. But even with just left with a couple of dimes, I'll still be the greatest of all time.
White trunks, he weighs 213 and a half. Return of the champion, Muhammad Ali.
Of all times.
All right.
Keith Jackson, ABC Sports' own. Keith Jackson is here for you tonight. How many people know Keith Jackson from ABC? Here we go.
This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Hello, everybody. This is King of Prussia, Pennsylvania football. Yes, indeed I do. The proctologist from Johns Hopkins University, taking on the always tough-fighting post-impressionists from Vincent Van Gogh Community College. And yes, indeed I do. There's going to be a whole lot of head-cracking going on down here. Yes, for the first time ever on ABC's Wide World of Sports this weekend, Evel Knievel will attempt to leap over Roseanne Barr. Oh, boy. But right now, let's pick up the action midway through the second quarter. Rodney Ellison rolling around the right side. He's got some running room. The 35, the 30, the 25. He could go all the way. And he's hit and cracked and fumble. Yes, indeed. Keith Jackson saying so long for now. Keith Jackson. Oh, yeah. They're all here tonight. I happen to know, I must say this, that I have had the pleasure working the Forum in Los Angeles with Earl Strom, seeing the greats in entertainment, all paying homage to Mr. Strom. Their favorite singer, I happen to know, is Tony Bennett. No, I know this. It is your favorite, isn't it? It is his favorite, ladies and gentlemen. Would you like, ladies and gentlemen, hear Tony Bennett tonight? We ready, Marty? Here he is to sing For Once in My Life, Tony Bennett.
For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have someone I know won't desert me, I'm not alone anymore.
Tony Bennett. We, is that echo on still? Oh, it is. It's off now. How about, you know, Billy Joel is here tonight? Earl knows this very well, that Billy Joel, in his hungry years, owned a Chinese restaurant here in Pottstown. Now, this is true. It was Billy Joel's Cantonese, 24 hours, open all night. And I remember the night that Earl Strom went into Billy Joel's Chinese restaurant, and Billy Joel recited the menu this way.
Come out for dinner and see what you ate. The chicken chow mein here's second rate. The noodles are climbing all over the plates. I must have left it in the sun. Well, you asked for a menu, I showed you your seats. How many times do I have to repeat? There's only one heat there that's decent to eat, and that never hurt no one. It's only the egg fouillon. Only the egg fouillon. Only the egg fouillon. Only the egg fouillon.
He was here. Billy was here. Oh, yeah. I know Irvin's favorite is Stevie. Stevie Wonder is here tonight. Oh, no, Stevie's here because Stevie was a big Earl Strom fan, too. Going way back to 64, doing My Cherie Amour. Here he is, Stevie Wonder.
My Cherie Amour, lovely as a summer's day. My Cherie Amour, distant as the Milky Way. Oh, Cherie Amour, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only one my heart beats for. How I wish that you were mine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Earl.
Thank you, Stevie. Oh. Boz Scaggs is here tonight. How many remember Boz Scaggs from the 60s? We got some Boz Scaggs fans. Here he is, Boz Scaggs doing Lowdown.
Everybody wanna sing, everybody gotta dance, everybody gotta find self a groovy road band. Gotta have a Jones for this, have a Jones for that. Let's keep it on with the Joneses, for it's just very sad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Boz. Oh, they're all here tonight. Paul McCartney wanted to make... ladies and gentlemen, Paul McCartney is here. Did you know that Paul McCartney just turned 50 years old this year? 50. He looks pretty good, Earl. Not as good as you, but pretty good. And I'm saying to myself, how does Paul McCartney look so good? No wrinkles on his face. And then I'm watching cable TV the other night, and I see Paul McCartney doing this ballad on how to look good.
Hello, everybody. People say, Paul, you know you look pretty good. How do you do it? Well, now you can do it too with this brand new miracle drug. Retin-A. All my lines and wrinkles have all gone away. Ask a druggist for it right away. 'Cause I believe in Retin-A. What a thrill. If my hair falls out, I'll use minoxidil. I could get it in a cream or pill, but I believe in Retin-A. You do too. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Retin-A. Never forget that. All right. We're going to wrap this thing up, but I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you know why these games are taking too long? Earl tried his best to try to get the games to wrap up quickly. They ran too long, Earl. You know why? because the national anthems took too long to sing. Now, don't get me wrong, folks. I believe we should sing the national anthem, maybe not like Roseanne Barr, but we should sing it with pride and dignity. Unfortunately, every performer who's ever sung our national anthem overdoes it. It started in 1967 when Jimi Hendrix sang our national anthem. This is the way Jimi Hendrix, were he alive today, might sing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing our national anthem, rock star Jimi Hendrix.
USA, I took your style, baby. All you people, they wear a smile, baby. Now being dead is such a drag. Excuse me while I salute the flag, baby.
Thank you, Jimi Hendrix. They tried everybody. Earl was saying, come on, let's get on with the game. They tried, remember the night they had Carol Channing do the national anthem? Here was the way Carol Channing, the Broadway star, sang the national anthem.
Well, thank you so much. Oh, say, can you see by the dancing light? I'm so happy. Go Sixers. Bye-bye.
Yeah, they tried everything. You know why they don't have folk singers do the national anthem? It takes them too damn long to tune the guitar. Gordon Lightfoot. This is the way Gordon Lightfoot might sing our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing our national anthem and tune his guitar, Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's delight what's so proudly we hail of the twilight? The rockets red glare, the bomb bursting in air. I'm boring as hell.
Yes, he is not a lot of fun, but Johnny Mathis is. Johnny Mathis.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing our national anthem, Capitol recording star, Johnny Mathis.
Can you see by the dawn's light? Look at me. I'm as happy as a American can be. I just see the flag waving by. I get a tear in my eye. I get misty saluting the flag.
Thank you, Johnny Mathis. We got a lot of show for you tonight, but I want to close this piece out. My favorite national anthem ever was when Neil Diamond sang when he did it at the Super Bowl a few years back. They had the 101st Airborne flying overhead, several hundred military battalions moving in. I would have gone to war for Neil Diamond right then and there. But if Neil Diamond had his own right and sang with his own lyrics, this is the way he might sing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to sing our national anthem, Mr. Neil Diamond.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's light what so proudly we hail as the twilight's last gleaming? 'Cause you are a Gentile and I am a Jew. You rent from me, I lease to you. Sue me.
Yes, yes. Jewish boy from Miami Beach, right? Okay. I would like to close before we have a credible array of people to say their piece about you, Mr. Strom. This is a song that was written by Billy Joel many years ago, about 15 actually. And I want everyone to listen to the lyrics, folks, because this is what it's about. Because this man has put 40 years of his life, 32 in the NBA, it's about memories and holding on to them. And to remember that every trophy you hold in your hand, Earl, ain't nothing like the one you keep in your heart. Never forget that. This song is called Souvenirs.
A picture postcard, a folded stub, a program from the game, file away those memories of your holiday. Those mementos will turn to dust. That's the price you pay. 'Cause every year's a souvenir that slowly fades away. Every year's a souvenir that slowly fades away.
We have one last video to show you. This is for Earl. This is for all the times. This is from all the players, Earl. This is one moment in time.
Each day I live, I want to be a day to give the best of me. I'm only one, but now I'm alone. My finest day is yet unknown. I broke my heart for every game to taste the sweet. I face the pain. I run and fall, yet through it all, this much remains. When I'm born, all of my dreams are a heartbeat away, and the answers are all up to me. Give me one moment in time when I'm racing with destiny. I will feel, oh, I will feel eternity. I live to be the very best. I want it all, no time for rest. I rise and fall with every game. This much remains. Give me one moment in time when I'm more than I thought I could be.
right here in front of me.
For Earl Strom. Give it up! Give it up! Come on! For Earl. One moment in his time. Earl Strom, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, Earl. Your legacy lives forever. Earl Strom, ladies and gentlemen.
He's just like the players. He enjoys what he's doing.
All in all, I think he's the best referee to ever officiate the games.
Now, you can't force him out if he takes that position. You're causing it all. He can stay like that.
He's like Michael Jordan as far as basketball. Earl Strom is that in refereeing.
We got a double technical foul on you two guys for fighting. If you get another unsportsmanlike technical, you're gone. You out. Out. You out.
I don't have any problems butting head with the young guys today because maybe I have that father image or grandfather image. They look at me and say, well, he's been around longer than we have, and we're going to accept what he does.
You know, you go out there, and you know he's right. That was a better, but you know he's right, and you can't say nothing back to him.
This is the ref of all refs, the rest of history, Earl the Man Strom.
Thank you, John.
Bye, Earl.
I don't think you were born yet, John, when I started. How old are you?
I'm 25 years old.
Yeah, you weren't born. Yeah.
Right. Oh, you look good for what, 71 years old?
62, John.
Oh,
come on.
Hey, what are you doing with that club?
Come on.
62 years old.
62, John. When I came into the NBA years ago, it was a survival of the fittest, if you will, because we would go out there and it was us against 10 players and 2 coaches and trainers and everybody, and we were battling them all the time, and we were at odds with them all the time. To me, professional referees are part of the game. And you show me a fella that goes unnoticed, and I'll show you a guy that doesn't blow the whistle too much.
He's a referee who you want to have in the big pressure game.
I got the foul! Now stop the bullshit! I got the foul! got the foul. Get back and shut up. Get back. Just get back.
If they try to show you up as a referee, you have to hold your ground.
I ruled on it. I ruled on it. All right. Bingo. Whoa. 24.
He can draw with anybody, as you're seeing right now. Gets his point across.
I played 14 years. You ref so brilliantly. This is a special gift from me to you. Wear 'em in good health, buddy.
Oh, it's hell when you get old. Huh?
My wife really has a crush on him, and I'm kind of glad he's out of here because she was really getting attached to him. That's about the only game she would come to is when you were refereeing her. I don't know why.
I was on the elevator. She said, "Tell him to give Kevin a break." She said, "Who is he?" And she says, "Earl Strom." Oh my!
Yeah. Well, Earl, when I came in the league, everybody said you were the best, and I was a little hesitant, but it didn't take long, and you proved them right. Good luck.
Get closer, guys. Who's going to do the talking? Who's going to do the talking? Any questions? All right, have a good one, guys.
There's not going to be too many like an Earl Strom in this league. I mean, he's put a lot of time and a lot of years in what he do best, and I think everybody's going to hate to see you leave.
I can win a couple games with this crew.
Earl's been very, very good for the game. He's a character, a Damon Runyon character, an outstanding official, and has been very, very good for basketball in the NBA, and best wishes in your retirement.
Earl Strom is officiating his last regular season game. This guy is one of the all-time best. He's been in the NBA for 5 decades. And he'll go out on top.
That's a tough act to follow. Man. We still talking, we cannot be talking. Because this is Earl Strom's night. And I think that we should at least listen to those who are going to speak. Don't listen to me because I'm the youngster out of all these men and women that's probably going to speak. But this will be the first time that I'll get to say anything I want and won't get a technical behind it. So I'm going to tell it to him just like I always wanted to when he gave me those fouls. Me and Earl only had one bad time. We've always had a good time, and but there was a time in Cleveland, you remember? That's the only time I ever got a technical from Earl, and you know, it was the last game of one of them, I'm talking about long road trips. Remember, Julius, one of them 2-week road trips, and you're tired, you want to get back home, and he's tired, he wants to go home, and Cleveland is killing us. And it's right before halftime, and he just gave me that 3rd foul. And we're just making a run to get back in the game. And I looked at him, and I must have said everything that I didn't know how to say. And yes, it was no good. And he looked at me and put his hands on his hip like he always do before he give you that technical. And he smiled, and he always had a distinct way of giving you the tea. You know, it's like he wait till the crowd die down. They already been cheering. I got my 3rd foul. And then he waited and looked at me, smiled, and kicked that leg up. And so I didn't speak to him after halftime, and he knew that I was upset, and I knew he was upset. And then by the time it was a timeout, and we finally looked at each other and busted out laughing because we knew that that wasn't me or him, and it was just a moment that I thought about as I was coming on the plane to pay tribute to a man who deserves everything that he's getting in these last 2 days. You know, God has blessed us to know a legend, and that's what Mr. Strom is, a legend. He is... And my definition of a legend is definitely a special person. And the way that you can tell special people is by, first of all, they always get a dinner. Right? But see, Mr. Strom just didn't get a dinner. He got a golf outing and another dinner last night. So he's double special. But really, you can tell a special person by friends and family and those who come out to honor you when you're being honored. And as I look in the audience, and as I was at the hotel today, stars among stars have come out to pay tribute to you. So your heart can feel really good because you know that you have won a lot of respect among a lot of people. And that says a whole lot. I respect you because you taught me how to play basketball in the NBA and how to be a man about it. Whether the call was good or bad, you taught me to just go ahead and continue to play. I remember that when I was a rookie. Just keep playing through it because it's going to always balance out. I remember you pointed that out to me, and I really appreciated that. You're a special person in my life, and you always will be. And all the other players that you taught different things, you keep going and keep this strong, beautiful family that you have, and you're always going to be loved by everyone. So I don't want to hold the mic up. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from all the other players that are not here, that I guess me, Larry, and Mahorn, all of us are representing tonight. We're representing the new, younger players that you talked about on the video. But we want to say thank you. Because if I can just say this, you're a hell of a man and a beautiful person. And thank you for caring about us.
I know. But one thing about Earl is it's always great during the season to pick up the USA Today and look at the box scores, because you always can tell which game Earl officiated. The least amount of foul shots. He had to catch a plane to get back to Pottstown. But in all sincerity, Earl, I think that there's something that Magic had touched on, that the reason everyone is here is because the love that you have for the game and the love everyone else has here for the game. And they really appreciate that so much. And, you know, to be a great player or a great official, and we have some truly great ones here, you have to have a sixth sense for the game, a feeling, an understanding. You know, a game can get very physical, and all Earl had to do was say, hey, that's enough. And everyone knew, hey, we better clean it up. Earl has said, that's all. And by the way, and last but not least, Earl, my kids are going to public school now because of all the technical fouls you called on me. And they wanted to come to the dinner, but we couldn't afford 2 more seats. Thank you, Earl, for all the great years.
Thank you very much, Roy. I'd like to thank him for the wonderful job he did. I thought he was great. I didn't know he had that much talent. You know, a great tribute to Earl is that so many people showed up and so many great players and coaches and so forth showed up. Now, did they do it because they love him or because they want to show they're happy to get rid of him? You know, he's a little dumb. See, if he had said and done this last year and said, I'm going to retire in another year, and had the banquet last year, he'd have 19,000 people here because they try to get on his good side. I had my run-ins with this guy. I had them with everybody. I never thought, honest, I never thought, I've been in the NBA for 44 years. I never thought that I'd be up here honoring a goddamn official. Yeah. To me, they were supposed to be non-entities. But I will say, this guy was so good, it was impossible for him to remain a non-entity. Because I used to gripe the last 4 or 5 years. I'd call up the NBA office. I said, who the hell wants Earl Strom in Boston? I want him on the road. I got a better shot with him on the road. At home, he wants to show, hell, he's not afraid of the crowd. He jam it with the left hand. But he was good. The main thing that I always loved about Earl, you never, ever doubted his integrity. You didn't always agree with him, but you never doubted his integrity. And he always had control of the game. Now that's very, very important. I was very impressed with what Magic said because you could feel it coming right from his heart. Billy Cunningham loves the guy. I respect him. I don't love him. Hell, Christ, this is my week for girls. You know, what happens now? What happens now? Is he going to retire and go in a rocking chair? If he does, he's crazy. He has got to be an integral part of the game of basketball. I don't care in what capacity or where. He's got to be in the game because he personifies, as I said a moment ago, integrity. And that is so important. Every ball player that's here tonight and all the great ones around never once would accuse him of being a homer or lacking that integrity. And Earl, I want to thank you and your family for inviting me. I think it's a great honor for me to pay my respects to your retirement. I hate to use the word. Christ, they've been trying to retire me for 20 years. They're going to have to bury me out there, carry me out. There's no way you retire. Stay part of the game. So on behalf of the Celtic organization, the whole NBA, please accept our sincere thanks for a great job, a great career, and may you be as successful in whatever you do for the future. Thank you very much.
Earl, don't move. If you move out of that chair, you're out of here. Now, I've been waiting 20 years to tell you that. You give me any nonsense tonight, you're gone. Are we straight? Okay. Now, I've been in basketball for a long time, and I've got to tell you some of my early recollections of Earl. The first time I saw Earl Strom referee, it was in a parochial 8th grade championship. I was playing. James Naismith was my coach. And Earl threw the first ball up. It was laced. It was much bigger than the ball they're using today. And you threw it up after each field goal. Earl never quite got the hang of it because he was left-handed. But we tolerated him, and since we were the road team, we won. Now, the next time I caught up with Earl, he was getting his first opportunity in the NBA. It was a preseason game. It was between Syracuse and Detroit. I was a high school coach, and I used to go to see every game that I could see and watch every coach that I could observe. Earl was getting a tryout, and he had been refereeing in the Eastern League, where a number of us played at the time. And so we knew Earl was refereeing. We went up to see the game. It was at Coatesville High School. And Earl comes out and he warms up, and we're wedged. We don't have a seat. We're wedged in the corner of the floor. And I watch Earl, running up and down, and game's underway, and Earl's trying to make an impression. I look. His fly is open. Honest to God. Now, Earl, this is a true story, and you remember it. And he's racing around, and Jack McCloskey, who is now the general manager of the Pistons, and Stan Novak, who's their chief scout, and I think Stan is here tonight, we're observing this, and we're hollering, Earl, Earl! And he's busy with the game and pays no attention. Finally looks over. We say, Earl, you're unzipped. Earl looks down. He's mortified, of course. And they get a timeout, and Earl goes off the floor and comes back, and he's all right, and he finishes the game. And he must have done well because he got a full-time job. One story about Earl Strom that I think speaks of the integrity that Red Auerbach referred to. The year my Portland team won the championship, the NBA officials who were unionized went on strike for the playoffs. And the first round was played under the direction of non-union people, non-union officials, of course, with the exception of Earl Strom, who of course wasn't in the union, and I think Richie Powers. They were the only two. We're playing in the second round at Denver in the second game on a Sunday afternoon. And when we walk into the game, there's a buzz, there's an electric current going around. I said, what's going on? They said, Earl Strom's supposed to work the game, and he got a death threat that if he appeared on the floor, he's going to get shot. And I thought to myself, will Earl come to the game? And I answered immediately, of course. So sure enough, Earl appears, and he's working the game. And Earl, I don't remember the guy working with you, but he was horrible. And we're struggling with the game. We had won the first game and the second game, and we're struggling. We can't get over the hump, and this other guy is killing us. And Jack McKinney, who was my assistant at the time, he says, God, I hope the guy doesn't shoot Earl. I said, McKinney, maybe he'll shoot at Earl, but he'll hit the other guy and we'll be home free. But nothing happened, and the other guy finished the game, and so did Earl, and we lost. But how many of us, if you knew that somebody was threatening to shoot you if you went to work, how many of you would go? This guy, you could count him.
I was going to speak here tonight, and I was a little bit anxious about it because all the great speakers are going to be here and want to say the right thing. And I had a dream last night, and I dreamt I was up in heaven. And I dreamt I was in his beautifully appointed room. White canopy bed, gold fixtures in the bathroom. And I'm going to be here and for eternity in this beautifully appointed room. And I turned around, and there's a 600-pound woman standing behind me. I said, what is this? I'm going to spend eternity in this beautiful room with a 600-pound woman. So I headed off to God's office, and I opened up the door and walked down the hallway. As I'm heading to God's office, there's another door ajar. And in this dream, as I pushed open the door a little further, I saw Earl Strom and Cheryl Teague. And I said to myself, he's going to spend eternity with Cheryl Teague. And I did the fastest break I could to God's office door. Knocked, walked in, and God said to me, something bothering you, Tom? I said, well, no, God, the room is terrific, but I do have a couple of questions. He said, what about this 600-pound woman? He said, well, Tom, you do deserve to be here, but there's a fact that we must be aware of. You weren't good all the time, now, were you? So I thought about it. I said, yeah, he's right. But then I thought about Cheryl Teague and Earl Strom for eternity. I said, God, but Earl Strom is going to spend eternity with Cheryl Teague. And he says, well, let's face facts, Tom. Cheryl Teague wasn't good all the time either. I was known to drive to the basket an awful lot, and I'd always felt that when I went there, I would get fouled. And Earl, you already heard mentioned, would never call fouls. They wanted to catch, quite rightly, the plane to Pottstown. They only run twice a week. Is that all right? Anyhow, I tried various ways. I said, Earl, the guy fouled me, for crying out loud. And he'd look at me. And then in my own inimitable style, I'd start kvetching, Jewish kvetching. And that didn't work, no fouls. So I tried a new tact, a compassionate tact. And we were on national television. And I walked up to Earl and I said, Earl, here we are in the third quarter, and I haven't been to the foul line yet. I said, my mother has not seen me in 3 months. And if you call a foul on that guy, you'll get me to the line and they'll do a nice big close-up, and my mother will know I'm okay. And I got the ball up the other end of the court. My defender's about 10, 15 feet off. He blows the whistle, calls a foul on the guy. And I step to the line, and Earl looks at me, dribbled the ball a couple of times. He flipped it. He says, that's it for your mother. Never got another foul shot from Earl my entire career. Anyhow, Earl, in all seriousness, I just want to say integrity has been mentioned. Your ability to... I am particularly enthralled with the humor of Earl Strom. You know, being a referee is probably the most grueling job of the entire game. The fans are on you. The players are grousing at you. The coaches are stomping at you. And Earl always could take that emotionally. And believe it or not, a lot of referees succumb to that problem. Psychologically, he's got to be the most well-balanced person that ever played or was ever involved in the NBA, because he dealt with all this pressure and he never let it cloud his judgment. That's why when these guys talk about Earl and being on the road and having Earl on the road, is that they always knew that the crowd would not influence Earl, that he would call the game as the game should be called, as the circumstances dictated. We all respected him, and when he blew one, he was man enough to say, I blew it. And if there was something funny, he would laugh like the rest of us, like you saw in that film. You knew he was a genuine, sincere person. And it's quite obvious to me, my first time in Pottstown, that he is that person, otherwise you people who know him best. But I got to say one thing. You kept something a secret from me that probably saved me thousands and thousands of dollars. Because if I had ever known that his name was Yogi, you can imagine what I would have done with that one. Earl, congratulations. Much happiness in the future to you and your family.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask you all one more time to give it up on your feet, Mr. Earl Strom. Earl Strom, ladies and gentlemen, come on! 32 years.
Thank you very much. I had to get my notes out, and then I left the ones that I wrote in Braille at home. First of all, let's give all of you, just give yourselves a great round of applause for supporting this great cause. Boy, there's some tough acts to follow. Red Auerbach was here. I know why he was here. He wanted to make sure I left. Red used to be a great guy to work for. He used to love to get those technical fouls when his team wasn't playing good, because he'd spur them on. And he'd get one, and then he'd get two, and he'd get chased, and he'd come running out on the floor and put that cigar smoke in your face and want to get chased. And that would stir the team on. Cousy and Heinsohn, they'd throw in about 15 shots in a row, and they'd come on from 15 points behind. Well, this one night it wasn't working too well. And Red started on me. His team was 20 points behind in Detroit, and there was no way they were going to win the game even with me on the floor. And he started on me. He wanted this one technical foul, and I called the one technical foul. And then I looked at him, and his team was playing so poorly, and he's screaming and yelling. I said, Red, call me anything you want. Do anything you want, but you're not going anywhere. If I got to stay and watch this crap, you're staying. And Red stayed. I'm going to miss a lot of things about this game. I'm going to miss the Magic Johnsons and the Larry Birds and the Michael Jordans and all these other big stars, so numerous to mention. And it's going to be very difficult for me to turn on television and know that I'm not out there working with these guys, because, boy, I'll tell you what, we got the greatest athletes in the world. Basketball players are the greatest athletes in the world. Before I run off at the mouth and everybody sweats to death, I want to thank my lovely wife, Yvonne. Please give Yvonne a hand. She drew this thing together. For 8 months, I felt like I was sleeping with a computer. When she put this thing together, and I'd look over in bed sometimes when I got to bed, and I'd look over and 3, 4 in the morning, and she wouldn't be there, and I'd listen, and the computer was running downstairs. She forgot something to put on, and honey, I love you for it, and thank you very much for pulling it off. I'd like to introduce my family sitting in the front row here. My daughter Margie, my son-in-law Rick, my daughter Susan and her daughter Carrie, her husband Greg. Is it Kyle or Jason? These guys are twins and I still can't tell them apart. It's Kyle and my daughter, or my granddaughter Brooke, and Jason, the other half of the twin set, my lovely wife Yvonne, my mother-in-law Dorothy Trollinger, a great basketball fan. My son Eric, his wife Mary, my son Jonathan, and his friend Wendy Sheeler, my daughter-in-law Nancy, and my son Steve. And I guess that's it, isn't it? Do we have anybody down at the end? I ran out of family. Oh, Andrew, where's Andrew? Michael and Andrew had to go home. Michael is 3 and Andrew's 1. See, I know the ages of my grandchildren. And Katie, where's Katie? Katie's not here. Got to tell you a funny story about Katie. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, yesterday I got a phone call from a team in the NBA that was interested in hiring me to do some analyzing, color analyst work. And I'm seriously thinking about taking it. And when I got off the phone, all my children and grandchildren are getting excited about this big night out at the country club. And I got off the phone. I said, well, guess what, guys? Now, I've been home from refereeing for 2 months. That's all, 2 months. And I said, I think I have a job offer. And they started to applaud. I think they wanted to get rid of me already. I think they've had enough of me for 2 months. So anyway, we talked about it. And then my granddaughter, Katie, who's 6 going on 30, came up to me. She said, Poppy, I'm so happy for you. I said, why, Katie? She says, you're getting another job. I said, yeah. She says, well, then we can have another retirement party. I'd like to introduce all the other celebrities, but they're too numerous to mention. I have some fellow referees that when I broke in 1957 are here, Norm Drucker, Jim Duffy. I have some present-day referees. I guess it's Wally Rooney, Ed Middleton, and Mike Mathis, and Arnold Heft is here. Arnold Heft. I think he and Red drove up together. I would have loved to have been in the back seat of that car, listening to those two guys. They couldn't stand each other for 48 minutes. I don't know what it was like for 3 hours. I'm going to give you the best gift that I could give you, the best raffle winners of all you people, because I'm going to sit down and let you go on with this party, and we'll all get out of here, and we won't sweat to death. I just want to say thank you for being here for this wonderful, wonderful cause. And Pottstown, we put our best foot forward, and you people that came in from out of town made it all happen, and all you wonderful stars, I can't thank you enough. And the scholarship funds that we have for Pottstown High, and Owen J. Roberts, we'll be able to send some worthy kids to school. And I'm just so happy to be part of this and be able to raise this money for everybody involved. And God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Earl Strom. We want to introduce now Margie, Earl's daughter, to come up here to make a special announcement, and this is a surprise. Here's Margie.
For 32 years, people have been asking me, what's it like to be the child of an NBA referee? Well, tonight I'm going to put it on the record. This is the night to do it. You know, growing up as a child of an NBA referee, you have occasions where you hear 10,000 people screaming at your father, booing him, and calling him the worst names imaginable. I went through grade school thinking my name was Margie Strom, you bum! My father occasionally would take us on trips as we were growing up, and when my sister and I were 9 and 10 years old, took us out to Los Angeles to see the Lakers play. We were real excited. We're sitting in the stands, and who do we see across the court but Doris Day? We knew it was Doris Day. She was wearing a little red plaid kilt and a navy blue blazer and knee socks, just like you'd expect Doris Day to look. And at halftime, my father came and he said, "Come on, girls, I'm going to take you over, and you're going to meet Doris Day." We were thrilled. Walked across the court, I'm singing to myself, "Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be." There happened to be 2 empty seats sitting next to Miss Day, and she said, "Girls, would you like to join me for the second half of the game?" We were thrilled. My sister and I sat down next to Doris Day, and at this point, the Lakers were ahead by a couple points in the game. Second half started up. My dad made 4 calls against the Lakers. All of a sudden, I look over at Doris Day, and she becomes the Laker fan from hell. She is screaming at my father, "Strom, you bum, you stink, you louse." I looked up, I said, "Doris, que sera, sera." And that's a heartbreak at that age. Another problem we had was none of our friends or their parents understood what it was our father did. I mean, you know, kids, their fathers, they had occupations. They were doctors, they were lawyers, they were carpenters, they worked in factories. My father was an NBA referee. You know, there's no reference point there. I can remember going over to a friend's house and her mother saying to me, "Oh, you're the little Strom girl. Isn't your father that basketball coach?" I was stricken. I said, "Coach? No, ma'am, those are ugly, vile people that scream at my father. No, my father is a referee." And she said, "Really? And what team does he work for?" Like he was with the Globetrotters. I don't know. They didn't understand that he didn't work for one team. That was a hard concept. But there were definitely some benefits to having my dad working for the NBA, because as I was growing up, I was about 13 years old, and many of my friends were attracting boys with their newly developed figures. I was left a little flat. But that was okay because I had something bigger than breasts. I had 8x10 glossies autographed from the NBA office. And believe me, when you've got Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, and Oscar Robertson, you don't need a great body to attract boys. You really don't. My dad was on the road for 32 years. And while he was out there keeping the Lakers and the Celtics in line, my mom was home with us making the really tough calls. And believe me, my brother Stephen could make Red Auerbach look like a pussycat. So, Mom, on behalf of Susan and Stephen and Eric and Jonathan and I want to thank you for all the time that you spent with us while Dad was out earning a living. Really appreciated it. We're so proud of you. We're not just proud of you for reaching the top of your profession, although that's a wonderful thing that you've accomplished. We're proud of you for being the kind of dad that you've been to us for not only 32 years, but throughout all our lives. We love you very much. Congratulations.
In closing, they always say that, a picture's worth more than 1,000 words. And there is a closing video that we'd like for all of you to enjoy, which I think
would be a very, very special way to say goodbye to Yogi.
Here's to Henderson. Gerald Henderson lays it in, and it's 112 to 109. 1 second to go. Young fires a three. It goes! Does it count? It does! It does! Mike Mathis is going to the scorer's table. I think he said yes, but we'll wait.
They're confirming right now. Now you see, that's the old story. You score too early. They could have just held the ball at the offensive end of the floor, Detroit, and ran out the clock. Now watch this. Here we go. You see, they jumped out of bounds.
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. Detroit wins it.
Pass. Here we have there. He takes one bounce, and he shoots. All right, the ball definitely did not leave his hand. You have the zeros on the clock.
And the Detroit Pistons now lead 3-1, and an angry Rick Adelman going after any official he can find.